Today's video, we're going to talk about birth rates, guys, and why they are declining and what can we do to fix it. Go and subscribe, guys. Check out my Patreon. Helps the channel out a lot. Now let's get into it. So I have a chart pulled up right here, guys. This is on Google, U.S. birth rates. So you'll see right here that we've been declining majorly since the 60s, right? So 1960s, the United States birth rate was 3.65 children per woman. And you'll see the major decline from 60s to the 70s was just a major decline. We lost practically an entire percentage point or an entire kid practically, because it went from like 3.65 kids per woman in the 60s to the 70s. It was like now down to 2.48. And then you'll see here that it just declines majorly in the 70s. Look at that, to 1.8. And then it kind of goes stays around 1.8. And then in the 90s, it goes to around over 2 kids per woman. And then declines again. And then now we're declining. Look at that. As of 2022, you have 1.66 kids per woman in the United States. That is a major decline since over the last, you can go back to the 90s. It was 2.08 children per woman, and now it's down to 1.66. Guys, you don't have a society without children, guys. You have to have children to have a functioning society. That's how that works. So obviously this is no bueno for human civilization. So let's go ahead and get into the next article that I have pulled up here, guys. This is confronting low fertility rates and population decline. Fertility rates have been declining in high-income countries for decades. This trend, along with increasing human longevity, poses a challenge for advanced economies. This column argues that holistic set of policies can be implemented to address the economic risks. These policies should stimulate human capital and accumulation and education, which are more important, according to this article, than population size for economic prosperity. Furthermore, the policy should promote health, aging, and more choice over retirement decisions, and family-friendly policies to slow the fall in fertility should be enacted. Guys, look, at the end of the day, like, yes, I am obviously for increasing quality of life for people who are aging, but you still have to have kids. You still have to have people that are going to replace you. That is what civilization is at the end of the day. You can't just have a bunch of people getting old and no one getting born, and that's not how society nor civilization will function. It says right here in the article, it says that the fertility rate has been declining in high-income countries for decades from 1960 to 2023. It goes to say that the total fertility rate, which represents the expected lifetime number of children per woman given age-specific fertility rates, among the EOCD countries, fell by more than half, from 3.29 children per woman to 1.54 children per woman, according to the United Nations, guys. That means people are having less babies at the end of the day, which is no bueno for economic development. Don't believe me? Listen to Elon Musk right here.
Possibly the single greatest risk to human civilization is the rapidly diminishing birth rate. And the facts are out there for anyone to look at. But a lot of people are still stuck with, Paul Ehrlich's book, Population Bomb. It's like, that was a long time ago. That is not the case today. There was a massive notch in demographics last year because the birth rate plummeted, and also this year. So, I mean, if, no babies, no humanity. You got to come from somewhere.
Yeah, obviously I agree with that 100%. I mean, you have to have people having kids to continue the population growth, which society will continue. If no one has kids, no one's replacing themselves, at least at a break-even stat, then you will eventually the population will collapse, and then which means, what does that mean, guys? That means that things will stop to be made. It means less workers, less everything, guys. So It's no bueno, guys, for the population. It's no bueno for civilization. So we have to figure out a way to either incentivize having people having kids, but we'll talk about towards the end of the video. I have another video to pull up, guys. Let's go. So this video right here, this is essentially they're going to talk about how since the U.S. Birth rate is like 1.66, that the only reason why the U.S. population is growing is because of immigration. So let's watch.
Immigration's filling that void a little bit. You see 10,000 people crossing the border every single day, whether that's good or bad, which is probably not good in a lot of ways.
Where did 10 million people go? Those people entered the United States, and I'd love to know where they're at.
Yeah, but immigration's filling that void here in the U.S. for now. But eventually, once the immigration spigot gets turned off, or when everyone around the world is just not reproducing kids, then you have kind of the Ponzi scheme collapse on itself. Like even more back in 200 years ago, you had 10 kids, right? So
Yeah, like it's crazy how like people like used to have 10 kids, and now like you're seeing like the birth rate in the United States at 1.66 kids per woman in the United States. Like literally, like our society is the society is collapsing. The only reason why our population is growing is because we're literally bringing in like tons of immigration. That's literally why. So, I have this article pulled up here, guys. It's the last article of the day for the video. U.S. population will grow bigger and get older. Okay. It says right here that Americans are going to get older, increase in number, and continue moving across the country during the next 2 decades, according to projections of University of Virginia Weldon Cooper Center of Public Services. It says right here that between now and 2050, the United States population is expected to increase by 40 million people, from 331 million to 220. From 331 million in 2020 to 371 million in 2050, according to figures released last week. That means that essentially that we're going to gain 40 million people of population. Well, how is that possible if the population is declining? It's probably going to be due to migration, guys. It says right here that population growth rate between 2000 and 2010 was 10%. It says now that population growth rate between 2010 and 2020 was 7.4. And now predicted growth from 2020 to 2030 is going to be 5.5. You see that? It went from 10% growth from 2000 to 2010 to 7.4% population growth from 2010 to 2020. And now it's projected a 5.5 between 2020 and 2023. The overall population growth is starting to get lower, guys. People have to have more kids. Right here it says, while population will grow, it will continue to grow at a slower rate. The nation's growth rate has slowed over the past 2 decades from about 10% growth from 2000 to 2010 to 7.4% between 2010 and 2020. The growth is projected to slow to about 5.5 between 2020 and 2030. So, at the end of the day, guys, look, people need to have more kids. That's what needs to happen, guys. People need to have more kids. People need to continue to, do what they need to do, guys. Because, look, this number right here, guys, 1.66 birth rates per woman in 2022. And I'm sure it's probably lower in 2024. Guys, it's no bueno. It's no bueno for, if you think it's cool, like, oh, well, that's fine. Like, the earth is, like, overpopulated. Guys, go on a road trip. Overpopulation is not even a thing. Maybe in a major city when you have, like, 20 million people and 20 square miles, maybe. But, like, literally you have, there's so much land, there's so much vast resources out there, and our society cannot function without more babies, guys. So, if you like this video, guys, you like the content I provide you guys, go ahead and subscribe. Leave me a follow, share, a like. Check out my Patreon, guys. I appreciate it very much. helps my channel grow, and I will bring you guys another video as soon as I possibly can, guys. On that note, I will talk to y'all later. Peace out.